And as you find your awareness going down inside your body, remember that there is no way to do this wrong and there's no way to do it more right. That whatever's coming up for you is exactly what's supposed to come up for you, even if it doesn't match what I'm saying. So if something doesn't match what I'm saying, you tell me and we're following you because you're in charge of the whole session. So just finding your awareness down inside your body, noticing what it's like to be inside your body, allowing your body to speak to you. And we'll allow your analytical mind to take a back seat, being fully conscious and aware of everything that's going on, but allowing your emotional mind and your body to do the talking. And that happens through images, it happens through sensations, it can be words and smells and all kinds of different things. So whatever you experience, just consider that a communication. And so now as you're paying attention to your body, there will be some part of your body that's calling your attention most, whether it makes sense or doesn't make sense, whether it's strong or subtle. Just let me know what's calling your attention.
Two things. I keep moving around because there's sort of like a sensation in my mid-back, and then my feet got cold.
Okay, good. So of those two things, do you feel like one is calling your attention most, or do you feel like they're connected?
They may be connected, but probably the back might be calling me most. There's also an overall fuzzy feeling surrounding my body.
Okay. So of those two things, the fuzzy feeling and your back, which one's calling your attention more?
My back.
Okay, good. So just moving your attention toward your back. And as your awareness gets closer to that area, just notice how much space that sensation is taking up. And as you get closer to it, your imagination is going to give that shape and form. What does that look like, that sensation in your back?
It looks like a cross, like it goes straight across my back and then straight down the spine.
Mm-hmm. And are there defined edges or are they kind of fuzzy edges?
No, they feel defined.
Mm-hmm. And does it feel three-dimensional or two-dimensional? Is it solid?
It feels three-dimensional, like solid 4x4 wooden blocks kind of things, or wooden.
Yeah. So just moving your awareness closer to it. And then taking a breath, and on the exhale, move your awareness wholly into that solid wooden cross. And let me know when you're there.
Okay, I think I'm there.
Yeah? What does it feel like in there?
It feels like I'm standing in the cross like this.
Uh-huh.
My arms out and standing straight up.
Mm-hmm. And how does that feel emotionally to be standing like that?
It feels, I guess it feels like a little bit like I'm constrained or a little trapped.
Uh-huh. So just allow that feeling of being constrained or a little bit trapped. Just allow that feeling in your body. Not judging it or pushing it away, just allowing it to be there as a communication. And now your imagination is going to bring up a number of the first time that you felt this way, and that number will just pop up. And what do you sense?
The number 27.
Mm-hmm. So now just imagining yourself at age 27. Just allow that image to show up. And if it's a picture of you, or if it's just an image of you, or if it's an image of you in a situation or a memory, just allow it to show up. And what are you noticing?
I'm seeing myself in my house that I owned in Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
Just standing in my living room looking out the window.
Yeah. And as you're looking out the window, are you looking at something specific, or are you just looking out the window and more like pondering and thinking more inwardly focused?
Yeah, I think I'm just pondering, and I'm just staring blankly out the window because I'm caught in my own thoughts.
Mm-hmm. So moving your awareness into that 27-year-old Wendy who's standing at the window, just looking through those eyes, sensing that body, sensing those emotions, and just allowing those thoughts and emotions to move through that body. And what are you noticing?
I'm saying to myself and think to myself, I want to do something different. I don't want to do this. I think it was the time that I was thinking that I wanted to go to graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to just be working for, didn't want to just be working for Job Corps anymore. I really wanted I wanted to go to graduate school and get my master's degree.
Yeah. Because what it feels like right now, just working for Job Corps is.
It feels, well, I liked working for Job Corps. I liked being out. I traveled all the time. I did a lot of public speaking. I did a lot of their marketing. But it did feel a bit like I was just doing dog and pony shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I was growing a little weary of I guess, well, I like the excitement of doing that and meeting people, but there was some part of me that just feels like it's calling me to kind of follow my dream that I had many, many years ago, which was to be a counselor.
Mm-hmm. Because what it would feel like to be a counselor would be.
I thought it was, I don't know, I think it's turned out this way, but I think I just wanted to help people.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just wanted to be more involved on the one-on-one level instead of just helping these kids make decisions to better their lives by telling them all about a program that they could get into.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really wanted to take it the next step and really help people more one-on-one.
Yeah. So just allow that feeling of helping people, being one-on-one, and still speaking as this 27-year-old Wendy. What I'm most afraid of right now is
What I'm most afraid of right now is, can I afford this? Can I get into this? Yeah, I guess what I'm most afraid of is like, how do I do this? Mostly like, I don't know how to, I know it's what I want to do, but I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. And what that feels like to not know how to do it or how to afford it is.
Yeah, I guess it just feels kind of like it doesn't push me away from wanting to do it. It just makes me feel a little lost and a little like I don't even know where to start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And where do you feel that feeling of lost and I don't know where to start in your body?
I guess kind of like in my throat area.
So as you move your awareness into your throat, just notice what size that is, what shape it is.
Mm,
What is it made of?
it just feels like it's well, interesting. It feels like it's this. Okay, this is a weird image. So it feels like it's kind of a balloon that kind of takes up a lot of space there. Then it's got a string going down that's hooked into a brick that's sitting down in my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird image. Okay.
So of the balloon and the string and the brick,
Mm-hmm.
where are you most drawn?
I'm just finding myself curious about the whole thing. The brick feels like the brick feels pretty heavy, um, but the balloon feels like it gets in the way, like it's taking up a lot of space. I don't know if I'm drawn to one or the other. It feels like the whole thing is causing this like they're all hooked together.
Yeah. So just notice all those different parts and how they're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
And just move within it. So take a breath and move your awareness into the balloon and then move down the string and into the brick and back up or wherever your awareness lands. Just what are you experiencing? What does it feel like emotionally to be in there?
It feels like I'm being held down. It feels like it's not letting me go after what I want, like it's holding me down,
Mm-hmm.
like it's tethering me down and not letting me, I don't know, kind of follow my dream.
Yeah. So, and what part of it do you feel like is it the brick that's holding down, or is it the string that's holding down, or is it the balloon being too big for your throat? Where do you feel the most resistance?
The most resistant is with the brick and the string.
Mm-hmm. So take a breath and move your awareness into the brick and the string. And as you do that, your imagination is going to bring forth a virtual resource. And a virtual resource is something that's safe, loving, and powerful, provides you guidance, provides you protection if you need it. And it could be anything from a deity of your faith to a wise and loving ancestor to even a piece of nature. But whatever it is, when your resource shows up just like that, let me know what you're sensing.
Um, hmm. I think a resource just showed up right in the name. Welcome to my baby puppy dog. This is Jet. It was really interesting because just before she came running in, I had a picture of the dog that I had back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, really, Kolob, you're going to be a resource for me? There was lots of resources that were flying through, like a teacher that I go talk to spiritually that's in the upper worlds, and a power animal that I go talk to when I do shamanic journeys. And then I kind of had this, my first dog that Barb and I had kind of showed up in my mind, and I was sort of questioning that because it was like there's all these resources going by and none of them were stopping. I don't know if that's ever happened for you before, but like they were kind of going by like scenes and none of them were stopping to kind of get my attention. Mm-hmm. And then she came up and did that. So I don't know what that means. She's very, very attached to me.
So just allow that to be there. And what was the dog's name that is your resource?
His name was Kolob. We called him Bobby, but Kolob either way.
Okay. So how does it feel to have Kolob there with you?
Feels pretty awesome.
Yeah, good. And where is he in relation to you? Is he in front of you, beside you, behind you?
It's right in front of me.
Mm-hmm. So just speaking directly to Kolob, what it feels like for me to have you here, Kolob, is?
What it feels for me to have you here is reassuring and that you have my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
Very loving.
Good. And is there anything else that needs to be said?
I'm just happy he's around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just allow that happy he's around feeling in your body. And then feeling him there, moving your awareness back to the balloon and the string and the brick. And what part of that are you inside right now?
Which part of that image am I?
Yeah, where are you in that image? Are you inside that image?
Yeah, sort of. I feel more like I'm in the brick.
Mm-hmm. Good. So feeling Kolob with you there inside that brick. What does it feel like emotionally to be inside there?
Sort of feels, I don't know, kind of safe, a little bit grounded. I kind of heard him. It's really interesting. I got to tell you this because what I heard him say to me when we were having that little dialogue is he brought to my mind a memory of, I had two dogs at the time. I had Kolob, and then I had a female little terrier dog named Keelan. And she was very much a terrier in that she didn't listen to me and she had her own agenda, and I call terriers terrorists. And so if I opened the door, she would go flying out the door and take off down the block. And he would want to be with her so bad that he would start to run with her, and I would try to call them back, and he would turn around and look at me and really want to come back. And sometimes he would come back, but he felt caught in between coming back to me because he was super loyal, or following her because he was also very attached to her. And he said, oh, I know what it's like to feel like you sort of need to be here, but you want to go there. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if that's metaphoric in here, but it was I went off in that sort of that memory of remembering him feeling caught in between, you know, following the rules and being loyal, and also taking off and going with her to be with her. And for some reason that feels like it's at play here. I don't know how, and I don't want to analyze it. I just feel like it's there.
Yeah, good.
And so the brick sort of feels like it's holding me in place, and it feels safe and grounded and solid. And then on the other hand, there's a part of me feels like it's also holding me back. Like it's keeping me tethered, which is good, but it's also keeping me tethered, which is bad. I don't know if that makes sense to you. That's the impression I'm getting.
Yeah. So go ahead, and as you're inside the brick, just look out from the brick as if you are the brick, and look back out at Wendy, and speaking to Wendy as the brick. Wendy, what I want to tell you about me, the brick, is.
What I want to tell you about me, the brick, is that you can play it safe, and everything's good here, and you're good at what you do, and you're super popular, and everybody wants you to come speak at their stuff, and all the recruiters want you, and you could travel 100% of the year if you wanted to, and you could, you know, everything's good, and everything's good at home, and it's all good, and you could keep doing it that way. And you could play it safe, or you could risk.
Yeah. And how I feel about risk as the brick is.
And how I feel about risk is, I feel like it's my job to keep you safe. I feel like it's my job to keep you grounded and centered. I feel like it's my job to not let you take too many big risks.
Yeah. Because what scares me about risks is.
Because what scares me about risks is that you could pay a price for that. What scares me about risks is you could get disappointed. You could fail. You could not get what you want.
And how it feels for me to watch you take a risk and then pay a price is.
How it feels for me to watch you take a risk and pay a price is, it makes me want to say, I told you you shouldn't have done that. That wasn't worth it.
Yeah. And how I serve you best is.
How I serve you best is to not let you just be willy-nilly about taking risks, is to not let you've taken so many risks with trust, and you've paid some huge prices, and it's my job to slow you down.
Yeah. Because what I can tell you, Wendy, about when you slow down is.
Because when I can tell you about when you slow down and watch more closely, and maybe do a little research, or maybe trust your instinct a little better instead of just jumping into things. If you can slow down, you might not get hurt.
Because what I want for you, Wendy, is.
Well, because what I want for you is for you to have everything you want. I want for you to go out there and go after your dreams and not get hurt by people.
And anything else that the brick wants to say to Wendy?
Well, the brick was doing a pretty good job of running some little scenes through my head of saying, See when you trusted this person and they ripped you off. See when you didn't, you see when you just jumped into this relationship and you got hurt. See when you decided to do that. It's like they were reminding me of all these times that I kind of jumped without thinking, or kind of took the risk without very much planning. So they were, I didn't feel like I was going into the old traumas. I feel like they were just running a scene past me of, well, then there's this and this and this and this, and you don't want that, do you?
Yeah. And how it feels for me, the brick, to be able to tell you all this and show you all this and give you these reminders is?
How it feels for me to give you all these reminders is that I feel like I'm looking out for you, and I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm trying to gently remind you that you need to be careful.
Yeah. And now moving your awareness from the brick into the balloon. And looking from the balloon's perspective.
Okay.
What does that feel like?
It feels like it's stuck right here and it's trying to get out and it can't get out.
And so speaking for the balloon to Wendy, Wendy, what I want to tell you about me is?
What I want to tell you about me is I have so much energy and so much I want to do and so much I want to say, and I don't feel like I've even expanded my skin where I want it to be, and this sucks, being stuck.
Yeah. And the way that I help you most, Wendy, is?
The way that I help you most is, the way that I help you, I guess the way that I help you most is to just continue to exert this pressure on you.
Because with this pressure, then?
Because with this pressure, I'm a reminder to you and that I'm there.
And if I were free, if I weren't stuck, what that would be like would be?
If I were free and not stuck, I could fly, and I could take off and I could fly, although I might get lost. I might fly too high.
And what it would feel like for me to be totally free and fly would be?
What it'd be like for me to be totally free and fly would be awesome. It would feel like I'm not constrained anymore, and that I could see the whole world from an expanded view.
Yeah. So just go ahead and look out of the balloon's eyes as if it was free and flying and seeing all that can be seen from that place.
I feel like I could be looking down at everything that's below me and all the possibilities, and I could motor around anywhere I want to go.
Yeah. So now looking back at Wendy from the balloon, what it's like for me to be up here and be able to look down on all this is?
It feels pretty freeing.
Yeah.
I think when I first untethered, I felt like if I'm not hooked to my brick, then I might not be able to stop myself, and I might end up going out into the atmosphere and getting too far away from Earth that I couldn't come back, or that I could go out there and hurt some flying creature. But I'm sitting inside the balloon right now. I feel like I can actually control it.
Yeah. So go ahead and just notice what that's like to be able to control the balloon, to control how high it goes or how low it goes, to control where and in what direction and how quickly.
Yeah, I'm pretty jazzed that I still have the string, because I can see that if I still have the string, I could come down and anchor in anywhere I want.
Yeah.
I could even come back to my brick. I could also ask for help from somebody that could reach up and hold the string.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very different feeling than I've ever experienced before, being in the balloon and actually feeling like I could motor it around wherever I want to go.
Yeah. So just feel that. Just go ahead and motor around, feeling the string there if needed. Just totally motoring. Not drifting aimlessly, not endangering any living creatures, not out of control, but just feeling that freedom. And can you make yourself bigger and smaller also?
Yeah.
So notice what that control's like. Just go ahead and expand and contract, finding that perfect balance of what feels really good.
I feel like I can expand myself if I want to go faster or higher, and I can sort of constrict or reduce that down. If I need to drop down into something that's narrow, or if I just want to lower myself down.
Mm-hmm. If you're lowering yourself down, notice how you can ask for someone to hang on to your string, or you can just hover by them or by something.
Okay.
And then speaking to Wendy. Wendy, what I now know about me that I didn't know before is?
What I now know about me that I didn't know before is I have a lot more control than I thought I had.
Yeah. And how it feels with this awareness that I have so much control is.
It feels very freeing. It also feels very calming, enlightening. It feels that it's not so black and whitish. I'm either tethered or I'm not tethered.
Yeah. And how I feel now about my relationship with the brick is?
How I feel now with my relationship with the brick is I feel grateful, because I feel like the brick had my best interest at heart, and the brick was holding on to a lot of the old wounds, and the brick was trying to protect me, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that it was also willing to just stay in its place, that it was willing to let me go, but it was also willing to just stay in its place if I need it.
Mm-hmm. So speaking to the brick from the balloon. Brick, what I want to tell you is,
Rick, what I want to tell you is I totally get where you're coming from. I totally appreciate that you have my best interest at heart, that you created yourself as a way to not get lost, as a way to stay grounded and to stay here and to not go away. All of that makes sense to me now more than it did before. And thank you for that, sort of that concentrated power, that concentrated thing that you created for me.
And because of that, what I now know about me is.
Because of that, what I now know about me is that I'm more than just a balloon tethered to the brick. That I'm a bit more. I don't want to say multidimensional, but that I have more moving parts than I thought before.
Yeah. And what I need from you now, Brick, is?
What I need from you now is to just be there as an anchor, to just be there for me.
And what I can promise you about your fears of me floating off is?
What I can promise you about your fears that I'm going to float off and get lost in outer space, or that I'm going to hurt a winged one out there, is that I'm going to be more mindful to watch for that, and that I have the ability to slow myself down or watch where I'm going, and to not, I think with your influence, Brick, I won't necessarily jet out to space without thinking, without remembering. Even though my inclination is to jet out to space because it's so exciting out there, and who knows what's out there? How cool is that? You know, my one of my inclinations is to jet out there. That I will maybe be a little more cautious. Doesn't mean I can't. Just will be a little more cautious not to jet.
Yeah. And what it's like for me to still be able to go out to outer space if I want and have your guidance and protection is.
What it's like for me to have the opportunity or the ability to jet out to outer space is that I either want to keep an image of you and where you're located so I can come back, or I want to imagine a string that is always connected to you that I could reel back in if I need.
Yeah. So just allow either one of those to happen, for those to manifest, and let me know what happens.
What felt stronger for me is to imagine that I've got a really thin but unbreakable little cord that's like on a reel that is attached to me and back to the brick, that as I go out into outer space, if it gets dark and pretty far away, that I can feel that string is there, and that at any point I can press this little lever that'll pull me back.
And does it feel as if the brick is always the same size and weight, or can it change, like the balloon can change and expand, or does it stay the same?
The brick seems to stay the same, like it's firmly planted there.
Yeah, and does that feel good?
Yeah, it's not a big brick. It's a really clay red 4x4 solid brick that just is planted there, but it's got a nice little ribbon around it. So yeah, it wrapped a little ribbon around itself that has that little string thing.
Yeah,
But
good.
it actually feels a bit more inviting than it did before.
And so, speaking as the balloon, back to the brick, what it feels like for me to have this string and attached to you is.
What it feels like for me to have this string from the balloon attached to you is comforting.
Good, good. And now, is there anything else that the balloon would like to speak to the brick or Wendy?
I don't think so.
Okay. And how it feels now for me to be able to express all of this to you, Brick and Wendy, is.
How it feels for me to express all of this to you, Brick and Wendy, is it feels good. It feels like I think I surprised myself and it feels like I think I've said things that I didn't know I was going to say. Yeah.
So now, moving your awareness back into yourself, looking through your own eyes, sensing your own body and emotions, and looking back at the balloon and the brick, and speaking back to both of them. What I now know that I didn't know before is.
What I now know that I didn't know before is that you're all independent of each other, but you all can count on each other, and that you all have a separate you have a separate energy, and it feels like you all have my best interest at heart, but different agendas.
Yeah. And what it feels like now that you two are working as a team in my best interest is.
What it feels like now that you two are working as a team in my best interest is I feel grateful, and I feel like you're more of a resource to me now.
Yeah. And anything else that wants to be spoken to the balloon or the brick?
No, just you rock.
Good. So receiving all the energy that both the brick and the balloon spoke, all the awarenesses, all the new learnings, and receiving all of those from both the brick and the balloon as a stream of colored energy that's moving from them to you. What does that energy look like, and where is it entering your body?
Well, it looks like a bit of multicolored, sort of rainbowish color that's coming in from them, like right to my sternum, right to my heart center.
So just feeling all of that multicolored energy that's moving into your sternum, feeling it coming into your sternum, filling up your entire chest, your lungs, your heart, moving all the way to your back, moving into your spine, up and down your spine, all the way up into your head, through your head, your face, your throat, your neck, radiating out across your shoulders and down your arms into your hands. moving down through your torso, feeling it, still receiving it and feeling it expand down through all of your organs, through your hips, your legs, your feet. So that all that energy from both the brick and the balloon is fully received and fully expanded, giving it whatever time and space that it needs to expand fully, even if it expands beyond your body. And just let me know when that's complete.
Okay.
And now, having received all that energy in your body, now move your awareness back to your throat and see what that energy feels like now. Has it changed?
Yeah, it feels, it doesn't feel like any of that pressure anymore.
Yeah. And now moving down into your stomach. And what does that energy feel like now?
A lot lighter. This is kind of interesting. I let myself imagine that 4x4 wooden cross that was sitting in there, that I was inside, and all of a sudden it was really flexible, like the Michelin Man. It's really flexible, and then it kind of split into two, and it felt like I was just like had all of this fluff around me, but that it was all movable, and it changed form completely.
Yeah. And what does it feel like to be in that now?
This is so interesting. Have you ever seen the games where people put on those giant bubbles and then they run and bash into each other and they play it on a field?
Yeah.
You seen that game? So yeah. I really want to play that. I really, really, really want to. I want to go to some place where they play that and get in those giant bubbles and play soccer and bash into each other and roll around. And it felt like in this thing that I could get on a field with other people that were dressed like that, and we could play soccer, and we could just like bash into each other and laugh our asses off and like roll around.
Just feel that bubble around you.
I want to find that game. Like, you want to play, I fly. I want to play soccer bubble. I want to play bubble soccer.
So just be inside your bubble.
Okay.
And take a breath, and as you exhale, just notice how around you other bubble players show up. And whoever you want in those bubbles, whoever you want to play with, they're people that you know or don't know. And let me know when the whole team's there.
Oh, they're all there. Like, all my beloveds, are there laughing and like ready to play.
Yeah. So just hear that whistle blow. The game has started. And just go. And play. And bash into each other. And roll around.
And jump back up and keep going.
Yeah. And feel that energy of fun. So fun you can hardly stand it. Like you're laughing so hard. The laughing impedes your progress almost as much as the bubble.
Yep. I just see myself laughing so hard that I almost can't get back up. Where you just cry laughing. Just that cry, like where you're looking at each other and you run for each other and you crash into each other, and then you're literally like cry laughing, like scream, cry laughing, like you almost can't get back up, can't stop laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go do that.
And as you're laying there, scream, cry, laughing, Do other people come bash into you?
Yeah, other people come over and actually fall over because they're laughing too. And like, we can't even play the game anymore because we're laughing. And then we're laughing because we're weak and we can't get back up. And we're rolling around and we're laughing and we're looking at each other and we're like, I can't even get up. I'm laughing too hard. My eyes are cry laughing right now.
That's fantastic. Just be in that as long as you want to be in that. Sense every part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Smell the smells, hear the sounds. Feel that in your body of just laughing so hard. The tears rolling down your eyes. Your face almost hurting from laughing so much. Hearing the others laughing. Watching them fall down and struggle to get back up. And just how much fun that is. Just 100% play. And notice as you're playing how the balloon is feeling, how the brick is feeling. It's free and fun and yet totally safe. And how are you feeling?
Really good. Like, that balloon was like my bubble.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh, I could motor around in this bubble too. I could do anything I want in this bubble.
Yeah.
I could fall down and not get hurt. I can crash into people and not get hurt. And actually that it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So just,
And I guess then I could see all the other balloons that were out there, like just not the bubbles on the soccer field, but then when I let myself go back into the balloon that were motoring around, I was like, oh, I'm not out here by myself. There's a bunch of other balloons motoring around here.
yeah. And how does that feel to see other balloons motoring around?
That actually felt really, really good to know that there's other balloons motoring around doing the same thing, just looking to expand and looking to like just be.
Yeah. And did the bubbles crash into each other and fall down laughing too?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Now I need to go find that game.
Yeah. So now from this space, just noticing what it feels like inside your body, what it feels like in your heart space, what it feels like in your stomach, what it feels like in your shoulders and back, what it feels like in your neck, your throat, your head.
Feels pretty light and airy,
Yeah.
a little jelly-like.
Yeah. And now from this space, in your left hand, there will be an image of going to Michael's Essentials training. Just whatever pops up like that, just an image that shows up in your left hand. And what is that?
So interestingly, I don't know if an image showed up, but in my left hand, it looked really big. Like my right hand looked a bit jellyish and cartoonish, and my left hand all of a sudden just looked really huge. Not in a bad way, but just huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I was waiting to see if an image kind of showed up. And at first I got kind of a desk, and then I got kind of a group of people.
Mm-hmm. So just whatever's there. If it's a desk or people in a giant hand, that's okay. And then in your right hand is the option of not going to the training. And what does that look like in your right hand?
It looks very watery. It looks very, I don't know, like my hand's made of the ocean or something. Like it just looks watery.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it interesting that like both of my hands became something versus an image showed up in them?
Yeah, yeah. So which one is calling your attention most? Is it the unusually large left hand, or is it the watery right hand? Or neither?
I don't know if any one of them are calling my attention. I'm trying not to analyze it. My left hand feels big and solid, and it has a group of people like hanging out together, like all sitting in a circle in it.
Mm-hmm.
And my right hand feels very watery, like a pool or a blue ocean or a blue lake or a blue pool. Don't know.
Okay.
It seems like a regular size. It didn't get big. It just seems like a regular size.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and move into the right hand,
Okay.
the watery right hand. And as you're in that watery right hand and looking back at Wendy and speaking to Wendy, what it feels like to be in this option of not taking the training with Michael is.
It feels very fluid and I feel like if I'm inside my hand looking back at me, I feel like I'm just floating. Like I don't necessarily feel like I'm drowning, but I feel like I'm just floating and just like I'm just not doing much of anything, just hanging out.
Yeah. And does it feel comfortable? Or not?
Not necessarily. It feels maybe not so much watery, like gel-like. Like I feel like I'm just kind of comfortably hanging out in this soft gel, but I'm not doing much of anything. Like without analyzing it, was just feel like I don't feel stuck, but more like, oh, you could just hang out. You won't, like, it's not good or bad. You just won't make any movement.
Yeah. Yeah. And so from this watery hand, speaking to the large left hand with a group of people, what I want to tell you about staying in this comfortable, just hanging out kind of spaces.
What I want to tell you is you could stay here. It's not going to hurt you, but it's not going to help you. You just stay status quo, and that's not good or bad, but it's not, if you want to move forward, you probably can't stay here.
And now moving your awareness into the left hand, the large left hand that you said felt really solid with people in it. And looking out of that perspective and speaking either to the gelish right hand or to Wendy, what I want to tell you about what it feels like to be over here is
Oh, immediately before you finished your sentence, it started going, what the hell are you worried about? You're big enough. You don't have to get any bigger. You're big enough. You can hold all of that. Like I just saw myself be my hand, and I saw myself really, really big. And then I heard myself saying, well, don't you want to be bigger? And isn't it okay to be bigger? And don't worry about it. It's like those people there will never be bigger than you can handle. Like they'll, like whatever those people are, that thing.
Yeah.
Like go big or go home. Like you can be big. It's
Yeah.
okay to be big.
Yeah. Because what it feels like to be big is.
What it feels like to be big is it feels very powerful.
Mm-hmm. And what I can foresee from this place of being big enough to handle it, what I can foresee that you can't see, Wendy, is.
What I can foresee that you can't see is you're afraid of all those people that are sitting there, and you're afraid to have to go try to be part of them. And don't worry, like you're big enough. And I got two things. One is don't be afraid of the people, and then you're big enough to hold whatever's coming.
Yeah. Because what it feels like to hold everything that's coming is.
What it feels like to hold everything that's coming is that you're big enough and you're attached to a whole body.
Yeah. So knowing that you're attached, knowing that it's not just you, the big hand, but that you have the support of your whole body. How it feels to have those people, that little circle of people just sitting in your palm is.
Feels confident, that's a reminder of the hand is trying to remind me that I've been here before. And it's just trying to remind me you've already been here before where you were scared, and then you find out that you don't have anything to be scared of. Like once you tackle something and you feel confident in it, you're more powerful, and that sort of ebbs out of you when people show up. Like they feel your surety, or they feel your confidence, or they feel your. So it's just reminding me of that.
Yeah. And can you feel that surety and confidence in your body?
Yeah, it's all held down in the body.
Yeah. So just feel that solidness. Just feel that strength, that surety, the confidence, the support, the knowing that you've been here before. Feeling that feeling of moving forward into something that you haven't experienced before, but that you've experienced enough in other similar situations.
Dog number 2. This is Danny.
So now, take those 2 hands, and since you have a dog in your lap, you don't have to do this physically, you can just do it in your mind. The watery right hand, or the gel-like wet right hand, and the large left hand, you just clap them together, and you'll see a puff of smoke and some magic happen. Open them back up again. And in the middle, there will be a new image. And what does that image look like?
Well, at first it looked like the yin and yang sign. Yeah, it looks like the yin and yang sign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so now moving into that yin and yang sign, and speaking from that back to Wendy. Wendy, what I'm here to tell you is
what I'm here to tell you is that you have everything you need.
Yeah.
You have both. You have all the parts. They all fit in together.
Yeah. And what it's like for me to know that you have all the parts that fit together.
What it's like for me to know that you have all the parts that fit together is that I guess it just feels kind of comforting and like all things are possible.
Mm-hmm. And what I want to tell you about your decision to go to the training or not is
What I'm trying to tell you is that you will figure out how this fits into you. You will figure out how these parts fit together.
mm-hmm.
That I'm telling you, you're not missing any parts. You will be able to organize and figure out how this fits in the whole scheme of things.
Yeah. And anything else that symbol wants to tell you?
There's more room in here. You can bring more in.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of spirals inside that have space on the disc or whatever. That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Space. You haven't filled up all the spaces, and it's not that you're empty without those spaces, but there's plenty of room in there, like whatever. There's little spots on the disc in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's weird.
And anything else that the symbol wants to tell you, or does that feel complete?
That feels complete.
Good. So now moving back to yourself, looking through your own eyes, and sensing all that yin and yang symbol has spoken to you and expressed and shown you as a stream of colored energy that's moving from it to you. What does that energy look like, and where is it entering your body?
Well, it looks like purple energy, and it's spinning energy, and it's coming in through the crown and in through here. It's actually spinning. It's actually spinning and coming in through all the chakra points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just feeling all of that spinning energy coming in through each one of your chakras. Just notice what it feels like to come in through the crown. Notice what it feels like to come in through your head, your neck, your heart, your solar plexus, your belly, your root chakra. Just notice each single one of those, what it feels like as it's coming in. Allowing that energy to just fill you. Just fill you and swirl around, just to expand throughout your entire body. Expand even beyond your body. Knowing that there's space for more, and yet super stable the way it is. But there's no have to. There's no need to. It's only if you want to. If you want to add more, if it's fun to add more. This is about what you want. Because you have all you need. You're whole and complete, and yet ever expanding. And how you expand, just like your bubble that you're driving around, your balloon, You can choose where it goes. You can choose how it expands. And as all of that energy is swirling around in your body, let's move throughout your body and notice if there's any other part of your body that's calling your attention, or if this feels complete.
Feels complete.
Good. So then your body will let you know that all this beautiful work that you've done is anchored all the way down into cellular memory, even down into your DNA, so that every single cell is vibrating at the same frequency. It has the same plan. It's moving together. And it's written in your subconscious mind, flashing millions of times every split second without you even thinking about it. It's also saved in your conscious awareness, able to be retrieved at will. It lets you know that this is done by bringing full feeling back into your arms, your legs, your fingers, and toes. Normal awareness back into your mind, your body, your brain. Full awareness of the room that you're in and the call that you're on. And then as it's complete, and only when it feels complete, will you open your eyes. How do you feel?
Pretty awesome.
That was